Hey community, so I hope last time the project that we had to set up a basic CI/CD for the DevOps practice that we might have done it. Okay, so today is the next step on the same process. So today we have to take a step further and we have to set up end-to-end CI/CD and deployment, right? So what we need to do, there are three steps that we can summarize in three steps. First is CI/CD for Maven or Gradle. It should not be and actually, just to consider this, or like for whatever project, either for Maven or the Gradle you can select it. Next is AWS environment setup, or with any cloud setup. If you are comfortable with Azure, or if you have learned the Azure, you can use that. And set is trigger the jobs and status and everything we need to check it. So I will just give you the example how can we do it by stepwise. Then you have to set up by your own, so you will have a end-to-end understanding and end-to-end hands-on on the CI/CD project along with the cloud as well, right? So see, first what we need to do, we need to set up a whole Maven CI/CD. So we'll see. So last time we had created this test DevOps CI, right? One project. I'm just opening this and our GitLab was filled because we were not doing end-to-end. Again, we will do the same. We will go to ChatGPT and we will try to ask, please provide us Maven GitLab CI YAML. Okay, and it will provide us. We can just use as for the example purpose. It might not succeed on the pipeline level, but at least we will have the understanding how the Maven will go, right? Or you can also go for the Gradle build as well. Okay, we'll choose this. I guess last time I have used the same, I'm not sure. Okay, I have not used it. Okay, we just have to edit here. Okay, if it is taking time, I'll just go and edit on the ID. Okay. Okay, I'll just copy paste my ChatGPT Gradle YAML. Sorry, Maven. Okay, this is the same that we got from the GPT, right? And you can read the steps as well. We can specify why we are using the Maven, why the build test and variables, as you already know probably. Like these will be the stages, and then we will create one variable where you can provide all as per yours paths and everything. This is just a dummy, so I'm not providing anything. Then clean package to clean the package in Maven while building. Okay, and other scripts also, maybe like whatever will be the commands of the Maven and all while building it, you can provide here, right? For the testing, like some command is there, like I guess Maven test install or something. I'll just check what is the Selenium command for Maven to execute test. It may give me, so I'll just add it. Maven test, right? Something like this. So we can provide that also. I'm just providing for the sake of understanding, like that's how we can add it, right? So like that you can provide it for building, and deployment is as per your requirement. Okay, and then we can go and commit to the main branch. I have the main branch only. Okay, committed. Now check here. Just now or third, get inside, you will see the stages. Build is working or not, maybe, but at least we can get the data inside it. Okay, something is happening using Docker executive with the image of Maven latest and all, right? So another way for doing the end-to-end also, okay, something, okay, it is failed due to some issues, okay, but anyways, like that's how we have to do. And also another thing I was saying, you can do not in this such a way, you can also create one sh file. Suppose if you are not comfortable of keeping all the script commands or the shell commands inside the builds or maybe in the deploy and all, you can create one sh file in the main repo, right? Like here and you can call it directly. And because in this repo I don't have a code or anything, so it will not work, but whenever you will be working on the real time, you will have the code also right here, so then it will probably work. So that will be the first step to create a GitLab YAML for the Maven project, right? So what else? Next step is AWS environment setup. Okay, we'll ask the ChatGPT. Why I'm using ChatGPT every time? Because it will be easy, and also we will understand like how can we use ChatGPT while working in the real time as well. So we have to make a habit of it. It would be better, I guess. So yeah, how can we integrate AWS with GitLab? It will give us the steps and we can go further. Anyway, let this give for a while. Meanwhile, I'll get inside. Okay, probably we have to get inside in CI/CD and then in the variables and all, but we will check the steps first. What it is saying? It is saying create a GitLab repo setup, AWS account setup, okay, then AWS service integration, AWS code pipeline or something. Okay, if you want to do these are the services in AWS. And then the GitLab CI/CD configuration. In your GitLab repository, create this GitLab YAML and configure environment. Okay, configure environment variable in the GitLab AWS credential or any other sensitive information needed during the pipeline execution. Then authentication and security testing and deployment and documentation and calibration. Okay, one more step we will add. How to configure, how to do GitLab configuration with AWS setup or instant AWS setup. Okay, let this. It will give us few more specific steps that we will use it. See, setup, account setup, then create an IAM user for GitLab if you need. You can also use directly from the administrator account also. Administrator user I mean, and the configuration of AWS CLI if you need, and all these in GitLab CI configuration you have to get inside in the variables, right? Again it is giving then securely store AWS credentials, test the pipeline, monitor and troubleshoot. So okay, so now we have few more specific steps. Anyways, I'll tell you. So whenever you have to set up the AWS, suppose you had already created your project inside your repo, you have also created one GitLab YAML and you are able to, like your GitLab is working. Okay, so next step you have to, after building you have to go for the deployment also, right? So get inside the CI/CD in your project, and here it will be variables and all. So here you have to store your variables of AWS and all these things you can store here and add the variables. Once you do that, and then provide the tokens and whatever needed, you can like easily you can like explore anywhere. Like this is very easy, right? So once you do that and then you trigger your jobs and anything, then you will be able to get it, right? So this will be the next step. Okay, suppose you have created like all these environment variables and the artifact and whatever needed, any specific thing like for the trigger of pipelines and pipeline triggers, or the variables and the artifact, or any runner, GitLab runner you can provide here, right? Suppose you have also done this. So these two steps are done for you. First is creation of Maven, second is the creation of AWS environment setup, and third is now you have to go, right? Once you set up this, then you have to go again, and if now your environment is set up, so then again you have to go and trigger the, I'm not going to trigger from there. Suppose you just go to release and everything. Okay, so here you have to create the release and all. I'm not going to do in such a way. What I'll do, I'll go to pipelines, okay, and see, retry, right? So we can retry again, and it will again go with the process, and if your everything will be correct, it will again start running and it will get deployed. So this will be the next step, right? Same thing will happen anyways, right? So this will be the your next step. So these 3 steps, now you will have the understanding from end to end how to create a CI/CD YAML for your project. Either it's a Gradle, Maven, Python project, like whatever. From there to directly setting up the environment, create an instance over there, provide the variables, add on the GitLab CI YAML, and then from there trigger the jobs and get inside the instance again. Or if you have exposed any DNS or any kind of ports or anything, then you can check your project whether it has been deployed correctly or not, right? So few things you can like directly go with the ChatGPT or with the official documentation of AWS also, how to create an instance and provide the open the port. Maybe if you are deploying any front-end application, you will be able to see on the port by using the public API, and probably it will be there if you are deploying over there, right? So that's how you can do the end-to-end GitLab workshop and hands-on, right? So this will be the next step. After the last video, this will be the next step to go a step further and create end-to-end setup. So then you will have the more hands-on, right? So yeah, I guess this will be enough to have this doing this. Like it will take a while, I guess. So in next we will see how can we go a step further maybe, and we can include maybe other things, right? So yeah, sure. Thank you so much.